Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of influential figures, seeking to understand the intricate tapestry of their experiences, choices, and character. Today, we turn our attention to Martin Luther, a man whose name has become synonymous with the Protestant Reformation, a movement that would shake the foundations of Christendom and leave an indelible mark on the course of Western history. Martin Luther was born on November 10, 1483, in Eisleben, Saxony, a charming town nestled in the heart of the Holy Roman Empire. The region was steeped in tradition and devout faith, with the sounds of hymns and prayers filling the air. His birthplace, a modest home near the town's central square, was a hub of activity, with his father, Hans Luther, working as a copper miner and smelter, a profession that required diligence and perseverance. Martin's mother, Margaretha Luther, was a devoted wife and mother, known for her piety and compassion, which would later shape Martin's strong sense of morality. As a child, Martin was deeply devoted to his parents, particularly his mother, who instilled in him a strong sense of faith and values. The Lutheran household was filled with the smell of freshly baked bread, roasting meats, and the sound of laughter, creating a warm and nurturing environment for young Martin. His parents' strong work ethic and commitment to their faith would later influence Martin's own dedication to his studies and spiritual pursuits. Martin's early education took place in the local Latin school in Mansfeld, where he excelled in his studies, demonstrating a keen mind and a passion for learning. He was especially drawn to the works of Aristotle and the ancient Greeks, which sparked his interest in philosophy and theology. In 1497, at the age of 13, Martin enrolled in the prestigious St. George's School in Eisenach, where he continued to excel academically and develop his musical talents. The historical context of Luther's early years was marked by significant events that would shape his future path. The Renaissance humanism, which emphasized the study of classical texts and the potential of human beings, was gaining momentum in Europe. The Catholic Church, meanwhile, was facing internal struggles and criticisms, with many calling for reform. These developments would later influence Luther's own critique of the Church and his advocacy for theological reform. During his time at St. George's School, Martin formed close relationships with several influential figures, including Johann von Staupitz, a theologian and vicar general of the Augustinian order. Von Staupitz, recognizing Luther's intellectual potential and spiritual fervor, became a mentor to him, guiding him in his studies and encouraging him to pursue a career in theology. As we explore the early life of Martin Luther, we begin to see the formation of a complex and dynamic individual shaped by his family, education, and historical context. His experiences during this period laid the groundwork for his future achievements, which would have far-reaching consequences for Western Christianity. The seeds of his later reforms were sown in these early years as he grappled with the contradictions between his faith and the practices of the Church. In the quaint town of Erfurt, where Luther would later study at the university, the sounds of merchants hawking their wares, the clanging of hammer on anvil, and the murmur of scholars debating in the taverns created a vibrant atmosphere that would shape Luther's intellectual pursuits. The university's emphasis on humanism and classical learning would further fuel Luther's passion for knowledge and his desire to understand the world around him. His future achievements would be shaped by the events and influences of these formative years, setting the stage for a lifetime of intellectual and spiritual pursuits that would change the course of history. As Luther continued his academic pursuits, he became increasingly drawn to theology, earning his master's degree in 1505 and beginning his lecturing career at the University of Wittenberg. His intellectual curiosity and passion for Scripture led him to delve deeper into the Bible, sparking a series of theological debates that would eventually set him at odds with the Catholic Church. It was during this period that Luther developed his critiques of certain church practices, such as the sale of indulgences, which he saw as corrupt and contrary to biblical teachings. His growing concerns about the Church's authority and its perceived departures from Scripture led him to write his famous 95 Theses in 1507. This bold document, nailed to the door of Wittenberg's castle church, challenged the Church's practices and sparked a theological firestorm that would spread across Europe. The 95 Theses not only showcase Luther's intellectual rigor, but also revealed his deep commitment to Scripture and his desire for reform within the Church. As news of the Theses spread, Luther found himself at the center of a maelstrom, with both supporters and detractors emerging from the shadows. The Catholic Church, perceiving Luther as a threat to its authority, responded with a series of condemnations and attempts to silence him. Undeterred by the mounting pressure, Luther continued to write and preach, producing works such as The Freedom of a Christian and On the Bondage of the Will. These writings further solidified his reputation as a leading voice in the Reform movement, attracting adherents from across Europe. His message of justification by faith alone, rather than through good works or ecclesiastical mediation, resonated deeply with many who felt disillusioned with the Church's excesses. As Luther's influence grew, so did the tensions between him and the Catholic Church. In 1521, he was summoned to appear before the Diet of Worms, a gathering of imperial and ecclesiastical leaders, where he was ordered to recant his views. Luther's response, "Here I stand," has become an iconic declaration of conviction and courage in the face of overwhelming opposition. Throughout this period, Luther's relationships with other key figures played a significant role in shaping the Reformation. His friendship with Philip Melanchthon, a fellow scholar and theologian, helped to moderate some of Luther's more extreme views, while his connections with powerful nobles like Frederick III of Saxony provided crucial support for his cause. As we explore this pivotal moment in Luther's life, we see a complex interplay of theological conviction, personal courage, and historical circumstance. The Protestant Reformation, sparked by Luther's ideas and actions, would go on to transform the religious landscape of Europe, leaving an enduring legacy that continues to shape Christian theology and practice to this day. As Luther entered his 50s, he faced numerous personal challenges, including struggles with depression, health issues, and conflicts with other reformers. Despite these difficulties, he remained a prolific writer and preacher, producing works such as On the Councils and the Church and Against the Papacy at Rome. These writings further solidified his reputation as a leading voice in the Reformation, and his influence extended far beyond Germany to shape Protestantism across Europe. One of the most significant developments during this period was Luther's role in shaping the Lutheran Church. In 1530, he played a key part in drafting the Augsburg Confession, a seminal document that outlined the core principles of Lutheran theology. This confession not only helped to establish Lutheranism as a distinct Christian denomination, but also provided a foundation for future theological debates and discussions. Luther's personal life also underwent significant changes during this period. In 1525, he married Katharina von Bora, a former nun who had been influenced by his teachings. The marriage was a happy one, and the couple had 6 children together. Luther's experiences as a husband and father deepened his understanding of family and community, and he wrote extensively on these topics in works such as The Estate of Marriage and A Sermon on the Mount. As Luther approached the end of his life, he continued to grapple with the complexities of faith, theology, and legacy. He remained committed to his convictions, even in the face of opposition from other reformers such as John Calvin and Huldrych Zwingli. Despite these challenges, Luther's influence on Western Christianity remained profound, shaping not only Lutheran theology but also the broader Protestant tradition. In 1546, Luther died at the age of 62, surrounded by his family and friends. His legacy was cemented in the years that followed, as the Lutheran Church continued to grow and evolve. Today, Luther is remembered as a champion of faith, a defender of Scripture, and a pioneering figure in the Protestant Reformation. As we reflect on his life and achievements, we are reminded of the power of conviction, the importance of theological debate, and the enduring impact of one person's ideas on the course of human history. Throughout his life, Luther demonstrated a deep love for Scripture, for theology, and for the people around him. His legacy serves as a testament to the transformative power of faith, and his story continues to inspire and challenge us to this day. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.